next slide, you can see that equality voters really don't like Donald Trump, and they really favor Joe Biden, which is great, and something that it shouldn't come as a surprise. On the next slide, this might come as a surprise. Equality voters are also less enthusiastic about this election than all Biden voters put together. And so, again, these are the exact folks that we try to talk to every election, but these are the folks who are getting hit by some of the reasons that would take you into a place of paying less attention to this election. On the next slide, we show you a few of those. One, obviously, is about exposure to the virus. Another is that young folks have a certain lack of enthusiasm about elections broadly, but about this one specifically. And then a general belief that Trump is going to win regardless of what happens. We know that things like unemployment and personal strife affect civic engagement. And so we've never had an election with more of either of those things. And so it really is going to be a battle to make sure that folks stay engaged in this election, don't get complacent in this election, keep doing the work, because as I said, so much can happen. And then on the next slide, you can see just a little bit of the national plan and strategy for HRC. So we have had on the ground in-state teams in our tier 1 states for 2 or 3 years now, in all cases. And so we've had a number of places where we have ingrained HRC staff. They've been doing this work for years. They worked through the midterms. They're working through this election. And so that infrastructure is going to pay off hugely. You can also see there are a number of tier 2 states that are a little lighter yellow. Those are places that are maybe presidential states, maybe they're Senate targets, maybe they're US House targets, or maybe they have state legislatures that we're trying to move. In your case, in Illinois, it's mostly House races. It's mostly House races that we're really leaned into. But I'm actually going to toss it over to Justin from the HRC Chicago team so that he can give you a little bit more background about exactly what's going on in Illinois.
Thanks, Lindsay. All right, let's see, next on the next slide. Okay, so yeah, we have one Senate race, Dick Durbin, that we want to re-elect. You can go to the next one. So Lauren Underwood is a freshman congresswoman that was elected in 2018, and her district is like the Big Spoon, and then there's another one I'll talk about that's a Little Spoon, but it's very long, like stretches many counties. But it was a very good pickup for the Democrats in 2018, and HRC endorsed her then, and HRC is endorsing her again. And she's a nurse background, so healthcare has been a big priority for her amongst, she's also on the Veterans Committee, so she's working on helping out veterans with benefits, and so she's done really well. She's got one of the most progressive records in the House of Representatives, and we're doing what we can to get her reelected by phone banking and fundraising and just getting the word out about her. So we have phone banks that we'll put into the chat box where you can volunteer for as much time as you can. They're Wednesday nights. In September, they'll be every other week for her. And on the next slide, the other week in September, alternating with Congresswoman Underwood, is for Congressman Sean Casten. So their districts border each other. Sean's a Little Spoon, and they do get along, so that's good. His district is the 6th district, and it does cover a little bit of Cook County, but mostly Collier County, from DuPage up through Lake County. And we also are doing phone banks for him and fundraising for him, and he's also a freshman congressman. His big platform is climate change, so he's been really focused on that, as well as many other Democratic platform positions, and they've both been super big advocates for equality voting for the Equality Act, and have been very good partners with us. So yeah, we're working with their campaigns. And so you can sign up for phone banks for either of them or both of them at the same link. And I'll put that in the chat box. And then, so Betsy Dirksen Londrigan is our third HRC endorsed congressional race there's more than that, but the third priority. So Betsy is trying again to replace Representative Rodney Davis. So Rodney Davis covers a district in the southern part of Illinois. He has part of East St. Louis. And so like she was really close in 2018. She was first announced the winner, and then it went back and it was so close to call, but like she just lost. This is currently a lean Republican district, but she's been raising a lot of money and she has really strong mobilized volunteers helping her. The St. Louis Steering Committee is working on this race, and hopefully there's an opportunity for us to collaborate together and just help Betsy. So out of the three that I'm talking about, hers is probably the toughest one, but Lauren Underwood is also a lean Democrat, so there's a chance for all of them to lose. But yeah, if we just make calls for them, text, as we get closer in October, probably we can do text banks, but they're all winnable with your help. So yeah, every other Wednesday, 5:30 to 7:30, there's a training that kicks off. So don't worry if you haven't done phone banking before. The campaign staff or one of us will be there at the beginning and throughout the entirety of the time to talk to you about how to make calls. We'll have scripts for you. We'll have talking points about the candidates. We'll have other resources like how they can vote by mail, what their positions are, any FAQs about the candidate. So we've got all the resources you'll need, how to set up an account and do it virtually. And so we're all in it together. And so if you want to try it out, make a couple of calls and see how it goes and then come back another time, it's all good. We're also sharing those on our Facebook page as well. So there's always a Facebook event. And then another goal that we have is to have you sign up for our team app. And if you use your phone, you can just use the QR code. It'll take you right to download the app. It's brand new this year, and it was good timing with the pandemic hitting us because this is an easy way for you to connect with your contacts, but use HRC messaging. So they'll have like a preloaded message that you can just click and send to anyone in your contacts. They'll have news that you can share directly to your Facebook page or in a text or email. Like when Senator Harris accepted the VP nomination last night, there was an article that you could share directly about that. So it's very topical, very current. And yeah, we're hoping to utilize that so that we know that the one-on-one relationships are really where this is gonna come down to. So if you have a friend that you want to check in with that usually votes, or you're not sure but you want to check in, just see how they're doing, this is a really great way. Or if you have that family member that likes to talk politics at dinners or family events, and you think maybe if you share this article with them that might spark something and lead them to vote for the candidates you want. Who knows? But it's a great app to utilize for those purposes. And yeah, so we have probably the most accessible, inclusive national dinner ever coming up on September 24th. I can probably pass this over to Michael that is really working hard on this. So yeah, take it away. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin, and thank you, Lindsay. Yeah, my name is Michael, and together with Tom, who's been managing the chat box, we are part of the corporate committee in Chicago, and thank you for a lot of the participants we've talked to the past years in terms of engaging with us, in terms of working on the Corporate Equality Index, working on various events throughout the year, and forming the partnerships. Really appreciate that corporate partnership that we have. So as you know, usually the Chicago Gala dinner is in November, but due to kind of everything that's been happening, HRC National has decided to create a national virtual event to make it a national celebration instead, for all these cities to come together as one. And we set the date in September because we really wanted to rally everyone to get politically involved, to get involved as a community, as a leader, and exchange ideas in different cities and how people are doing things all across the country as well. So the date, as Justin mentioned, is September 24th in the evening time. And there are a few ways we are hoping that y'all can get involved. First is to be involved as a corporate equality captain, as a team. So encourage ERGs to sign up as a group and attend this event together. And the other way is to be a corporate sponsor as well for the event. For individuals on this call, you can also sign up